Michael, testing, testing. Hi everyone, it's Ben from Trekitt, and I'm out here with Harry behind the camera again today at the Gospel Pass. We've got Hay Bluff up to our right hand side, and it's just a lovely day out in the beacons here, so we thought we'd do a bit of an inside look video into one of Mountain Equipment's new jacket, the Superflux, which is one of their synthetically insulated jackets. Over the course of this video, we'll run through the features of the jacket, how it fits, just generally what we think of the jacket, so stay tuned to find out a little bit more. So what is the Superflux jacket? It's this one. The Superflux jacket is a synthetically insulated jacket from Mountain Equipment. It's designed for pretty much any and all cold weather outdoor mountain activities. Ideally, it's suited for just those cold weather days, whether that be hill days, doing a bit of ski mountaineering, just down at the crag, things like that. It's ideal for sort of UK conditions. I can really see it as a piece that you'd wear on a cold day out in the Brecon Beacons that finishes up at a nice pub. And if we're lucky at the end of this, Harry might take me to the pub. So what's the Superflux made of? Well, with the Superflux, because it's a synthetically insulated jacket, it makes sense to talk about the insulation that's on the inside of this first, because that's the thing that's going to be keeping you warm. It uses 3M's Polar Loft featherless insulation. So a nice blown synthetic insulation that works really well at keeping you warm when the conditions are maybe a little bit wetter. Synthetic insulation performs really well in cold, wet conditions because it can still keep you warm. Ultimately, you will still get wet with this jacket, but unlike down jackets, which will be a little bit lighter and pack a little bit smaller than something like this, but you'll get wet and cold in those things. So the 3M insulation that's inside this jacket works really well for UK conditions where we tend to be a little bit wetter than sort of some of our neighbours and a little bit further into Europe where more alpine conditions take hold. Then covering that, you've then got a 40 denier outer of Mountain Equipment's own design, which is their dry light loft. That helps keep the worst of the elements out. It's highly water and weather resistant and fully windproof as a material. You do still get a bit of wind penetration because of the stitch through baffle design on a jacket like this, but realistically it cuts down on nearly all of the wind and will keep you fairly dry. If you're out for really long periods of rain, I would recommend still throwing a shell over the top, just because then you will stay absolutely dry and nice and toasty warm. One other thing worth mentioning about the jacket, in combination with the outer fabric, is that the fabric has been treated with a DWR coating. So that's a chemical treatment that helps repel water and keep the jacket in a little bit better nick. That is something that will wear off through use, so it does need to be re-washed in. But from the factory, this thing will bead up nicely. So what are its features? Starting at the top of the jacket, we've got a fully insulated mountain hood, as Mountain Equipment call it. They don't specifically say that it's helmet compatible, and having tried it, we can just about squeeze a climbing helmet underneath it, but we wouldn't really recommend it. It's more head compatible. That is then fully adjustable, so you can pull it right down so you can get a nice closure and keep the worst of the weather out. Moving further down the jacket, you've got a two-way YKK zipper on the front, which is amazing if you're using it for sort of belaying or just throwing on, or just if you need the call of nature, you can just unzip the other way and you're away, which is a nice little add-on feature that really doesn't add much weight. The other thing that's nice about the zippers is they all have nice big toggles on them so that you can use them with gloves easily when you're going to be using this in sort of colder conditions. Gloves would have been a really good idea on a day like today. I forgot mine, so my hands are a little bit cold. That means I can show you about the pockets though, and then I keep my hands in my pockets. So you've got two insulated hand pockets on the outside of the jacket, which also have those nice toggles on them. And then on the inside of the jacket, you have a little security pocket that's perfect for any little valuables, your phone, jelly babies, whatever you want to keep close to you, anything that's really important. I usually have snacks in mine. And then other than that, you have elasticated cuffs, which are nice because they seal the worst of the weather out, and you can still pop the cuff if you need to, if you need a little bit more room around your hands or you're a little bit warm. And then you've got bottom adjustment toggles on the jacket as well that are split around the bottom hem, so you can adjust the front and back easily, and it means that if you are using this in more of a climbing environment, you haven't got a loop that can potentially catch on something, so you've got those split toggles, which are just really nice. The only last thing to mention about the jacket is that it does pack away into its own pocket, which I personally really like because I have a habit of losing stuff sacks, so you can't really lose a pocket. You can just stuff it in there, it packs away nice and small, and you can throw it back in your pack when you're not using it. So how does it fit? Well, for the Superflux jacket, Mountain Equipment used their mountain fit as opposed to their alpine fit. That gives us one key advantage, and that means it's just a little bit more roomy than some of their other pieces. Mountain Equipment can be known for quite a trim fit when it comes to a lot of their jackets. And with the Superflux, they've just made it a little bit more generous, which means it will fit more body types, and it's also then a little bit more comfortable for layering up underneath. For reference, I'm 6'3". I'm a little bit of a noodle-bodied boy because I'm quite tall, as evidenced by being 6'3". But it fits me. It's just nice and long enough in the body. The sleeves are long enough, and it's just really nice and comfortable. And this is a size large. I've still got a little bit of room on underneath the jacket if I wanted a few more layers on. At the moment, I've just got a sort of a midweight base layer, but I could comfortably get a fleece or another lightweight jacket on underneath it if I need to. But it's not then too bulky and too roomy otherwise. If you are a little bit shorter than me, or just generally you don't have a particularly long torso, the jacket will still work just fine. Because of the baffle design, it fits a wide variety of body types without, getting too long and too excessive. And it just works really well in that regard. Where does it fit into the layering system? So this particular jacket is quite versatile in that regard. So you can use it like I am right now as an outer layer. But it can also be used as a mid layer underneath the shell if conditions do turn really foul. It just means it's a little bit more adaptable, so when the conditions aren't quite super cold or they're cold but dry, you can wear it as an outer layer. But then you've still got enough room to throw a shell over the top of it if you are out in really cold, horrible, wet conditions. If you'd like to find out more about this jacket, or to see what other colours it comes in and see some of the rest of the range of products that we've got from Mountain Equipment and some of our other brands, Harry will throw a link somewhere up on the screen here. At the moment, and if you enjoyed this video, he'll also pop some links to some of our other videos here. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, we'd really appreciate a thumbs up on this video and a subscribe to our YouTube to see all the latest inside look videos, any future competitions, and just everything Trekitt. We'll see you in the next one.